Enjoy the following preview of our recent ClubGPF live discussion. For the full recording and much more, go to geopoliticalfutures.com/ClubGPF.
There's no way that China's not fully engaged in cyber attacks of different sorts with respect to Taiwan and with respect to the United States and other Western countries. The question is, what are they doing? Are they preparing for something more offensive? Or are they preparing for, an eventual invasion of Taiwan? I hope not. I would hope that Xi Jinping learned something from Vladimir Putin's excursion into the Ukraine. It's very difficult tactically to invade a country like Taiwan. And I want to say it was Geopolitical Futures. I think I even sent you a note about this, George. You all had put something out that talked about the readiness of the Chinese Navy. Almost everything that I read about the Chinese Navy is about capability and capacity, not about readiness. And as a former ship captain, I got to tell you, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, a lot of coordination to be able to function as part of a warfighting machine. And so, just like our example in the Red Sea with the United States Navy, you now have destroyer captains and guided missile cruiser captains that have more experience tactically with missiles and anti-air defeat of medium range intercontinental ballistic missiles in the case of Israel than probably in the history of the United States Navy. But it takes practice to hone your doctrine and to hone your tactics to the point where you can overwhelm an adversary. And so from a naval perspective, I know China's building a lot of ships and airplanes and missiles and all the things. I just don't see them practicing with them very much. And maybe you could overwhelm an adversary with mass. But I think if you're going to have tactical success, you need tactical precision. And that requires a lot of practice that I don't see taking place.
China has a problem, which is that it has to carry out an amphibious assault over a fairly small body of water, land forces on the beach able to support each other, not be detected by American satellites and so on, and not be hit by bombs. This is a really difficult battle problem, which is why the Chinese haven't tried it. If they felt confident in being able to do this, I think they would. It would really work inside of China for having done this if it didn't change anything. So when you talk about the question of the Iraqis, the Iranians, I should say, the Iranians didn't want to play in this game. Hezbollah was kept out. Everybody was kept out. The Iranians are talking to the Americans in a serious way about nuclear weapons and all sorts of things, but they're not in a position to dominate the region. They know it. And after the uprising that was held when the women were killed in the police headquarters, okay, they understand that they've got a volatile population. Israel hit them in the capital, killing 2 senior officers. They had to do something in response. I think they did as little as they could possibly do. And we're quite pleased to see them missiles shot down. This was not, I think, a test of variable capabilities. So what we're looking at in the region, and this is kind of the tension, the pressure on the world, is that each country, like Iran, cannot define what it's doing in the context of an Israeli war, and is searching for some sort of stable platform from which to operate and make a policy. And throughout the entire region, you have the interesting thing that no one has sided with Hamas, no Arab country. Now, that tells you that the region itself is very different than we picture it. And we also know that the Israeli military is different. The head's intelligence resigned finally from Israel. It took him a long time to get an organization there. But Israel is the one that we have to understand, the one under the most pressure. It has made two major pressures in its history, as I've said, 1973 and this, both intelligence failures. You can't fight them if you don't know they're coming. And Israel presents itself as a kind of small superpower, and it really isn't. It's a small country, and it's engaging in battles beyond its weight. At some point, it's going to be obvious, and Israel has to rethink who it is.